Okay, we are now live, and going to give it a minute or two for everyone to get sorted. But welcome back to episode 3 of to check me notes there for Star Trek Adventures Damocles, and I'm not as nervous as I was last time. I didn't have that mild panic attack, but we were almost down a player today. Andreas was feeling a bit yucky. He had the Cardassian flu, so that's it's going to take a while to catch up. Okay. Does anybody? I know I've got to say as well. Congratulations to Ross for hitting 1,000 followers on the tweets.
Thank you very much.
That was quite impressive. I was actually watching that as it went over, and let's just see it go 999.
I know it's ting. Never grown at that pace ever before. that was. I was meant to be working, but I just couldn't. I was just watching that number tick up.
That's a significant amount. It's like to go from like 99 to 100 is impressive, but to go to 1,000, that's a major milestone. So well done for that one. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. For all those who haven't seen this before, this game is based on the tabletop RPG from Modiphius, Star Trek Adventures. Some of the rules I'm going to say I've house ruled a few of them, because to make it easier for myself and to adjust for my play style on stream. So it's not going to be exactly like it is in the books, but it's going to be close. It's going to be close. And as time goes by, I'm going to be reintroducing more elements like certain tasks and ship combat and things like that. Mainly because it's I didn't want to overload myself, and I'm still learning the ropes, both with the game and with Roll20 as well. Okay, so before we actually start on the episode, we're going to have a brief recap of the last two episodes. Sorry. The Dominion is in a lot of trouble at the moment, and they have come to seek the aid of the Federation. One of the first ships to be allowed back into the Gamma Quadrant after 10 years is the USS Damocles, an experimental, highly advanced version of the Prometheus, modified in basically to take it to the next level. It's bigger, more automated, has a bit more firepower, and is generally a much more experimental ship. It's literally the best that Starfleet has to offer. On their journey into the Gamma Quadrant, for the first time in 10 years, the crew encountered a new type of planet that they had never seen before. On investigation, they found the entire planet was covered in a psionic form of crystal. This crystal turned out to be alive, and through a series of events, a piece of a kind was formed with the Crystal King and his living children. Because it turned out that the greatest foe the Dominion had found since the Federation War had somehow got hold of technology which took these crystals, enhanced it, and pretty much allowed them, these Bendrazi, these are the names of the people who they were fighting, to in effect decimate the Dominion. This is why they needed help. On return to Deep Space Nine, Qatar was spotted sending a mysterious message to someone in the Gamma Quadrants. Now, we're going to jump forward to stardate 5829135, April the 17th, 2381. Right, I'm now going to close the chat so I don't get distracted by it, and we're going to begin the episode. Right, Fira, you're up. We're in combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have fun.
Yes.
Descriptions, please.
Okay, you are in combat. Yourself and Third are in a forest. Basically, the map you see in front of you. Okay. I'm just going to add you to the turn roster. Add to turn. I'll get you can go first, and you can go second. Right. What are you doing?
Do I have any weapons?
Oh yes, you have whatever weapon you want.
I am tempted to say I have my Ushan, but that would be a little bit overkill.
You can have that if you want.
Nah, let's go with 2 rattan sticks.
Okay. Right. So, the forest is deathly quiet. You can't hear any animals. The only noise is your breathing and of your Jem'Hadar companion. Third turns to you and he quietly whispers, "I don't like this. It's too quiet. They should be around here somewhere."
Relax and focus on your surroundings. Focus on what you hear, what you smell. Remember your training.
There is a reason I'm doing that. I still don't like it. We should have found them by now. Where are they?
They will show soon enough. Let's go forward. I'm right behind you.
Go on. Okay, so walk forwards into this little clearing here. If you want to move yourself. Okay.
Yep.
As you do, you hear a distinctive sound of something beaming in. As soon as I get it. Borg tactical drone materializes in front of you. And another. And another.
Nice knowing you, Tira.
3 Borg tactical drones have appeared in front of you. And 2 behind you.
I don't have any energy weapons with me, so I have a chance.
You'll find out. There are now 5 Borg tactical drones. Slowly moving towards you.
I whisper to myself, that's the last time I let Davran choose the enemies.
Again, slightly move forward. And then you notice one of them just disappear. Slowly
Third,
towards you.
do they have personal cloaks? What does your genetic memory say?
I have never seen these creatures before. You're more of an expert on them than I have.
I don't know of any cloaking devices on Borg drones. They have adaptive shielding and nanites to implant their own close range attacks. Particle weapons and melee weapons are preferred against fighting against them.
I will say the Borg are slowly advancing towards you.
Yeah. Ready to fight?
Except for this one. For some reason it's going off in this direction.
Little question.
Yes.
Is this clearing here as wide as a drone?
Yeah, this is the map is more of a it's not exactly how I wanted. This is more of a sort of rough guide to what the thing is. It's like, I mean, in actual fact, if I had it at a scale, it would be more like.
Oh, okay.
It'd be more like that.
Okay. So yeah, I attack the drone.
Okay. This one here. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Make a roll.
So that's control and security, right?
Now, because this is combat, what you have to do is It's daring and security with a base DC of 1. Remember, unless I say otherwise, base DC is always 1. But yeah, sorry, not bad. No bats. Ignore that.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, it was. I was thinking ahead of myself.
Security.
I was getting me notes.
I have a focus and melee.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 successes, but also 1 complication.
Right.
Bag.
Okay. Now this is going to roll, and he's going to make a melee attack with this, with the focus. Right, so I got 2 successes, you got 2 successes, but you got the complication, so you know what, screw it. You roll for damage.
Okay, that's on the challenge dice, right?
Yep, that's correct.
How many?
How many for your attack, we should say. Remember to add your security rating to the number of dice.
Okay, since I said I use rattan sticks, I don't know how many dice it is on the attack.
Okay, I'm going to say for the moment it's going to be 5.
So 5 plus my security of 5.
Yeah. Just
that's nice.
I mean, it's probably wrong, but I don't care. Right. Your hit takes the drone's head off.
Okay.
Yet the body still stands there. Oops. Sorry, I just realised I need to get my dice.
No.
Okay.
Normally they fall down when you hit off the head with a stick.
Chris, the chat says no audio. Can you hear us?
We should speak a bit to see if they can hear us.
Mark says no.
We need to club together and get you a new headset, mate. I haven't been talking much. Can you hear me?
Okay, Ross is back.
Awesome. At this precise moment, let's say that I am off duty and I'll be in the mess hall.
I'll probably be in the lab anyway, so don't have far to go.
Apparently they're still not hearing you, Chris. Yeah,
Yep.
So I'm just keeping an eye on the chat there.
Yeah, me too. Mystery DM. Andres, could you say something?
Something?
Thank you.
That'll do. So, chat, can you see Chris? It's just his audio.
Yeah. Who can you see or hear? Status report, please. All right, Andres, you're good?
Okay.
This is good. And this is always good. Just audio, everyone good except Chris. Okay.
Yep.
This is definitely not good, no.
Nope.
If only we had Star Trek's level of technology, we would not be dealing with these sorts of problems.
Then other things would go wrong.
Oh, yeah, fair point. We'd have, like, murderous holograms on our tail.
Yeah.
Which may yet happen this episode, based on the intro.
Sure.
And the title of the episode.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the chat, they're doing the intro theme for the show. This is the credit
Okay,
roll.
what about now?
In case you couldn't recognize it.
If you can hear me, just type some gibberish in chat. Because OBS is saying it's now picking up my mic. Why it wasn't doing that before, I do not know. Gibberish in chat. Thank you very much, Astragal. Brilliant.
Exactly as requested.
Thank you, Mark.
Brilliant. Thank you. Huzzah!
Okay.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
Right. Credits end. And we now fade into everyone running about and the Damocles panicking like a madman. Right, again, I will close the chat, but thank you very much. Okay, so, as I said, the episode is The Third Law. Everyone is rushing to battle stations and security stations. So, Davin, you said you are in the mess hall, correct?
Yep.
And Tolik, you're in your lab?
Yep.
Okay, right. Is anybody near one of the transporter rooms?
I don't know where the holodeck is.
Yeah, to be
No,
fair,
it's more.
I'm
I'm more because I haven't really decided what's going to be on what deck yet. It's more a case of, does anybody want to be near the transporter rooms?
I mean, would it be logical? Sorry, that's a bit of a Tolek line, but would it be logical to assume that the science labs might be fairly close to them?
I'm going to say they're right. I mean, the ship isn't that big. It's I mean, it's big. It's probably bigger than the Intrepid class, but it's not massive. So I'm just wondering if anyone just happens to be.
I expect I'm probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the lab could be close to,
Okay, fair
because
enough.
I think it would also make sense to have the sickbay close to the transporter room.
Yeah.
And since he's into medical biological stuff, the biolab could be close by to that.
Okay, we'll say for the moment that it is. You get a call to your Tolik. You get a call to yourself from the captain. It's like, Tolik, I know your lab is near the transporter room 2, correct?
Correct, sir.
Get your Vulcan butt there right now. We've got a problem. There's a ship dropping out of warp, and they need an emergency evac.
Acknowledged, sir.
Thank you.
And I will grab if possible, a first aid kit on the way out the door, and run to the transport room.
Right. And Tira, what are you up to?
I'm probably on a very fast step together with her to the weapons room to suit up together with the other security personnel and Jamada.
Okay. Easy enough. At the moment, your current duty station is on the bridge.
It is?
At the moment, it is, yes.
Okay, then I'm on my way to the bridge.
No, you can pick up your gear, but it's like your current...
No, retake that then. I did know that then I'm on my way to the bridge, of course.
Because you're duty tactical officer at the moment.
Okay.
As you're on the bridge, you see the view screen flare into life. Captain gives you a brisk nod, like, Ensign, what's going on? Why are we on red alert? You said something about a ship drop needing an emergency evac. The Ensign Ricky, our bog standard ensign, turns to the captain and goes, Captain, we got a distress call from the USS Saltesh Sea. She's having problems with her warp engine. Apparently something's infecting her systems. She's going to be dropping out of warp. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, sorry. Right now. And as you look, you see a Nova-class ship drop out of warp practically right in front of you. Let's get that. And then you hear all the alert sirens going off. You hear the proximity alert. I mean, this ship is pretty much, you could reach out and practically touch the other ship. That's how close she's dropped out of warp. If you'd have been, say, 100 meters further forward from your position, you would have been smacked in the face with a ship. Seems like it's pure luck. Basically, she didn't ram into you by dropping out of warp. It's like, across the comms you hear, Damocles, this is the Saltesh Sea. We need an emergency evac. All our crew and passengers. Our systems going critical. We need help now. What are you guys doing?
Well, I'll start beaming people over.
Okay, right.
Well, I'll attempt to beam people over.
Where would my duty station have been? So on the bridge?
Yes, yours will be on the bridge as well.
So I guess we can assume that I also ran there, so I'm there now.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Okay, Tolek, because you are near the transporters,
yeah,
I'm going to need you to make a transport roll.
Right, how does that work?
It's control and engineering, but it can be assisted by sensors and engineering. So either of you two on the bridge can make this roll to assist.
Okay.
Right. Does my technical expertise help in that case because I'm using the ship's systems?
I'm going to say yes on this one.
All right.
That was control and engineering.
Control and sensors and engineering. You're using the ship's sensors and engineering, basically.
Yeah.
It's like you're assisting them and going, right, oh, you need to beam these people off, and it will only count as an assist if Hanno makes the roll. So basically...
Okay. So that's 2.
And remember, you have momentum.
Right.
Which we should probably spend.
Yeah, let's do that.
Lives are on the line after all, and they do disappear at the end of the scene. One of them, don't they?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so using that, we have that plus that. Submitting. Decent.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, and whoever's rolling for the Damocles, because Hanno succeeded. So far you got 3 successes.
Doing that, or
and that's 2 momentum you gain as a minimum.
Whee!
It seems like it's always worth spending the momentum because you get it back so often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's the whole point. Is to keep this.
We have to get used to spending it.
Yeah.
Another success.
Which
Brilliant.
is
So you've now got
to me.
wow.
Such order.
So you've now got an extra 3 momentum. Wow. Very nice. Okay. In a matter of moments between yourselves and Deep Space Nine, you have beamed pretty much the entire crew and passenger manifest off the ship. As the last passenger is beamed off, a rather sort of scraggy looking Kaitan who sees you and just goes, "Oh, thank Damika," and just hugs you before you realise, "Oh, sorry, I forgot you Vulcans don't like that. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." As you hear that, all the alarm sirens go off. Stop. Like, Damocles, this is the Saltest Sea. You can hear the captain is stressed. I don't know what you did. All our systems have returned to normal. Thank you. We're gonna go. We're gonna go and dock now. Is docking bay 2 open? And sort of gives a nods, and you slowly see the Saltest Sea move towards docking pylon 2, very carefully.
Captain, I would recommend that they do not dock.
I recommend the same thing. We don't know what happens there and the dangers that might possible dangerous ship or unknown life form on that ship might do to the docking ring or to the station.
The only thing that we know for sure is that the problem stopped when we moved the people off. If we put them in a position to put people back on, who knows what will happen.
To deck to bridge, it might be advisable to make a full scan of all life forms beamed off the ship. Maybe the problem originated with one of the individuals.
Okay, so you sent a message, yes?
Yeah, I'll just use my comm.
Okay. The message goes across, and you hear, "Understood, Lieutenant. I think Deep Space Nine's already passed that message on to the captain. Yes, yeah, they have actually stopped, and yes, I can see them being scanned now. Good thinking." The ship returns to yellow alert. Several new passengers and crew members are looking around going, "What do we do now? What do we do?"
Please remain calm and behave in an orderly fashion. Is anyone in requirement of medical assistance?
The Kaitan, how you pronounce it, the cat person, who gave you the hug earlier, it's like, "I would like to apologise for my actions earlier. I honestly thought when I was being beamed off, it didn't feel right. It felt like something unpleasant. It made my fur stand on end. I am..." You see the cat person gathering himself. "I am Kamala. I would like to thank you for saving my life."
It was my duty, Commander. I am Lieutenant Chodek, and instead of offering a greeting, I'll just pull out my tricorder and scan him.
What are you scanning him for?
Any anomalies of his biology, since he said the transporting process felt weird.
Okay. Can you now roll then a... let's go with... science and insight.
And science and that, and yes, because it's biology.
Yeah.
Woo! Sweet.
Okay. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, you pretty much maxed out momentum now. Right, that's double critical. Fucking hell. Okay. You notice that Kamala is he has definitely suffered a little bit of an injury from transport. Nothing major, but you've seen this before, where some of it only seems to happen probably about 1 in 100,000 transports. Occasionally, the subject's biomatter signature will just be a bit out of alignment, will be a bit iffy. It's very easily treatable. It won't damage them, but they may feel a bit rough for a few days. But as far as you can tell, they are perfectly healthy.
They are a healthy kiter.
However, you are noticing something that you didn't notice before. They have, I suppose you can call it a belt with several pouches on.
Right.
And that
If
you can't read what is in those pouches.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Would you be so kind as to accompany me to the sickbay? It is nothing to be concerned about, just some precautionary measures.
Oh, yes, of course. After you. And he...
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Just going to quickly cut to Davrin and Tira on the bridge. What are you two up to?
Captain, do we know what the mission of that ship was?
The Sortesh Sea.
The Teshik, genau.
Yes. And it's like, turns to the one of the lieutenants on the bridge and is like, sort of makes a, can you call up their mission log? Calls it up and things like, nothing untoward, just some deep space scanning. Their log indicates that they picked up a few passengers along the way who were having some trouble with, can't quite make it out, the log appears to be corrupted here. We think, can you clear this up? Types in this thing. The log deletes. Just disappears.
That might confirm my suspicion.
What suspicion is this?
It feels strange to me that the malfunction stopped as soon as we beamed the crew and everyone away from the ship. Maybe they have picked something up that doesn't like the crew or wants the ship for itself and doesn't want to be found.
As you say that, the captain just puts his hand on his face. It's like, and you can see him compose himself for a moment. It's like, although he's a trill, you notice the spots on the side of his neck seem to darken, which is a sure sign that he's not happy or stressed out. It's the increased blood flow, and you can sort of go, I wish my first officer was here right now, she'd know what to do. Right, I'm going into my ready room. And he just walks into his ready room. I'm going to speak to Starfleet about this and Deep Space Nine. Davrin, you have the bridge, and
Yes, Captain.
just walks into his office, and you can almost hear a behind the door.
Okay. For what it's worth here, I had the same supposition, so yeah,
Yeah.
slightly alarming.
Okay.
Should I just blow it up?
The ship is still
Well,
reasonably close to you. You can't blow up another Starfleet vessel.
Well, my worry is that whatever anomalous creature or thing was on that vessel may now be on the Damocles.
So,
So,
That's explaining the sudden disappearance of that file.
yeah. I'll do a security sensor sweep on the ship now.
A very good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
So do I need to do for that?
Right. I'm assuming you're just going to do a standard sensor sweep, nothing in particular. Okay.
If any files or the computer systems are corrupted.
Right. I'm just trying to decide if it would be internal sensors or sensor sweep. If you're, it's going to be internal sensors, so it'll be region and security. Before you roll though, this is going to be a DC3.
Okay, I want to spend some momentum on that.
Okie dokie. And Ross, as you're on the, sorry, Davrin, as you're on the the bridge, you can assist with sensors and security for the ship.
I want to spend 2 momentum, and does my focus on security protocols count?
What are you scanning for exactly?
Any security breaches of some computer virus program or
anomalous material.
non-humanoid life form.
Okay, in that case, yes, it would count.
Okay. 2 momentum.
So I'm using my security, am I, rather than the department?
No, you're using the ships because you're assisting. Because it's basically Tira is in effect using their skill on the ship, and you're representing the ship. I'm trying to. So
yeah, okay. And there's no focuses there.
No, because it's just a basic. The ship doesn't have a focus. It's just basically just helping.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you don't pick up anything.
Yeah, because I only have 2 successes.
And you need 3. Oh, no,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you don't pick up anything. You don't pick up anything on towards. You just like, as far as the scan results indicate, everything's fine.
That would have been really great D&D rolls.
Yeah, yes, it would have been.
Actually, no, never mind. Ignore me.
Okay.
I was just thinking I've got technical expertise, but would that help?
No.
If I'm assisting?
No, because you're not rolling for yourself. You're rolling for the ship. This represents the ship's technology. It's not you saying, "Oh, you do this, you do that."
Well, technical expertise actually says whenever you attempt a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, you may.
In that case, yes.
Okay, so I'll just re-roll.
Yeah. So this is why you got to keep track of your traits and things.
Yeah, this is literally the first time I've had to use a talent, so.
That's what it's for.
Got 20.
Oh dear. Okay.
We're all gonna die.
As you're using the ship sensors, the LCAR screen flickers very, very briefly. That's it. That's all it does. It just.
Maybe we should start interviewing the crew members of the ship, which name I can't remember.
Saltesh. Oh, right, I'll write it in chat, it'll be easier.
At the risk of sounding possibly prejudiced, I'd be more inclined to think it was one of the passengers at fault, not necessarily deliberately.
And the ship was named by one of the people in chat last time, hence why I'm using that name. The Saltesh Sea.
Okay, then let's do the passengers first.
Okay. Now remember, some of the passengers got beamed onto Deep Space Nine.
We don't want to think about that.
Yeah, bigger problem for another time.
That's why I sent out my Comcom to have them scanned.
Yes, it's you're going to have a job ahead of you. That's all I'm going to say. In terms of crew and passengers, you've probably got about. I'm going to say probably about 40 people.
So we have now a montage with dialogues with everyone.
Now, this is going to be an extended task. The first time we've done one of these. Right. This is where I really got to panic because I have no idea how to do one of these. I'm going to fudge the rules on extended tasks a little bit because I'm still not 100% sure how to implement these. So I'm going to have to really swat up on these rules. Before you can begin, you get a message come through from Deep Space Nine. Damocles, this is Deep Space Nine control. Are you there?
Deep Space Nine. This
Deep Space
is
Nine? Call in. Hello.
Hello. They're not receiving us.
Oh, yes, there we are.
Okay.
So I had a bit of trouble with our comms system. It's something's gone a bit glitchy.
Oh dear. I was slightly afraid that might happen.
I see you've had the same problems as well then.
Nothing so serious yet, but yes, we've had a few technical glitches, and it is rather on the alarming side that they've happened so immediately after the events preceding us beaming the crew and passengers off ship. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Davrin John. I have the bridge at the moment. How may I help you, Deep Space Nine?
Yes, we've gathered. It looks like we're on the same wavelength here. Our science officer recommended we gather all the passengers we beamed off into one of the cargo bays to isolate them because they said they had some odd readings coming from one of the passengers as they were beaming off, but they lost track of them. We think keeping all of them in one location is probably going to be the safest course of action. And we know you picked up probably about 12 of the passengers.
That makes sense, Deep Space Nine. I just wonder if it might make sense to gather them here on the Damocles, just so that in the worst case scenario, the entirety of Deep Space Nine would not be affected cataclysmically.
That's actually not a bad idea. Your ship is pretty manoeuvrable, isn't she? What's the warp speed of it again? Is it 9.9 or something stupid like that?
It's whatever number it is.
Understood. Classified information. Yes. Just out of idle curiosity.
Yes, classified. Has nothing to do with my memory.
you see him on the thing. Just call up the stats of the Damocles, like the LCARS thing that they have, and you see just like looking down and going, ooh. Not bad, not bad. Okay, well, I'm just going to check with our chief medical officer, but I'm inclined to.
I should probably confirm with a captain, but
yes, I bet your captain is. Did he do that thing where he goes into his ready room and just you hear a muffled yell?
He did actually. So you served with him.
I have a couple of times.
We can expect that kind of thing, can we?
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's an excellent captain, but he doesn't like to see the crew see him getting upset and annoyed. And you know,
just hear it through the door. I see.
Yes, you know how he feels around technology going wrong. It's not exactly his favourite thing. And as you say that, the door opens and he walks out. It's like, I heard that.
Sorry,
I can actually monitor the communications in my ready room, and you see the person you're talking to. So, sir, and yes, I actually agree. Beam as many as you can to, let's say, our cargo bay 1. It's nice and large. We have a couple of shuttles there.
Captain, I have another idea where we could beam the people.
Oh, do tell.
We could beam them all on one vector, so if they actually have some kind of computer virus or something like that, we could split off the vector and save 2/3 of the Damocles instead risking all of it.
That is actually a very good idea. However, cargo bay 1 is in one of the vectors. So you are suggesting we split the ship in a non-combat situation?
Just preparing a split.
Actually, sir, splitting the ship now might be preferable to trying to split it when everything's going wrong with the ship.
Very well. You can see him sort of just standing and going. Alright, I'm gonna get grief from Starfleet because of this. Very well. Move them all to Cargo Bay 2, and points to one of the other tactical officers on the bridge. Make preparations to go to emergency vector separation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to flash forward now to about an hour or so later. All the crew have been alerted to what may happen. There are lots of passengers, all 12 of them, plus a few extra, probably about 20 in total, more beaming in as time's going by, because they're taking the time. Apparently Deep Space Nine is starting to develop problems with its transporters. And they don't want to risk sending any more over via the transportation. All passengers that have safely arrived are now in Cargo Bay 2. Some of them are looking very nervous and a bit upset. You see them... What's going on? You see Kamara again from before, his tail twitching like mad, his whiskers bristle back, and you can see him not panicking, but not like being stuck in a cargo bay. And a few of the other passengers are sharing this sentiment. You see a couple of Bolians, what appears to be an Andorian or two, and a Vulcan. The rest are minor races, not really worth mentioning.
So, sorry, are we in the cargo bay with them?
Yes. There's yourself, Tolek, Tira, Third, providing security, and a couple of other scientists just basically running tricorder scans on everyone.
Okay then, so I would like to address the gathering to you sort of try and put their minds at ease and explain the necessity of what we're doing.
So that's going to be...
I'm
going to say a command and presence roll.
Got it. So
DC 0.
Okay.
Chris?
Yes.
I took a phaser with me together with Third, and just in case.
Okay.
Can I use? Actually, I've got lots of focuses here: diplomacy, lead by example, empathy. So
I'm going to say empathy because you're trying to calm people down. So yes. Interesting.
We're not doing so well on those complications today.
Surprisingly, though, virtually everybody seems to calm down at your words. You see the Kaitan's tails stop twitching. You see the Vulcans, their pose becomes visibly more relaxed. The Bolians go back to their normal bluish haze. The Andorians, again, they seem to relax as well. Everyone's quite taken by your words until the lights flicker. Again, very brief. No major, but it's just literally, you know, like we get in like in here. You like occasionally there'll be like a brown out where it just goes bit.
Okay. I'll approach Tolek.
Okay.
Tolek.
Excuse me.
Yes.
You've had the most contact with these passengers. Have you noticed anything anomalous?
There was a slight transporter complication with the Kaitan. I'm actually surprised that he has not remained in sickbay.
Got a clean bill of health.
And, well, he does have pouches on his belt that are impervious to tricorders.
Hey, Tolek, can you make a security and insight roll, please?
I can try.
DC of 3.
Yeah, let's lower momentum on that. Just because I'm not really that good. Well, that didn't work.
Okay. Okay, let's carry on.
Okay.
Tolek, why just didn't you look in those pouches?
Because that would be against the law, I am fairly sure. It is his personal property and he is not under suspicion of any crimes.
All of them are currently under suspicion of possibly sabotaging a Starfleet ship.
Lights
Well,
flicker again.
Not even necessarily deliberately, but if the entire ship could end up being destroyed from this, I think it is worth requesting that people allow us to investigate their belongings.
Okay.
I go to the Kaitan. Sir,
Yes.
what is in your what are in your pouches?
Personal things.
What personal things?
Personal things. Make a security and
I-
insight test, please.
I just wanted to add something first, if I can.
Yes.
If you don't say that to me, you see my friend there, the big, heavy armed Jemadar?
Third standing right behind you, and just like hello. And
He will.
And third is big. I mean, he's not as big as first or second, but for Jem'Hadar, he's still big, and he towers over Kamala. And you see him just look up and go,
He will ask you next. So I ask you one last time, what is in your pouches?
and okay, make a security and insight test, please.
Okay.
I think
DC
Davin and
of.
Tolek are probably avoiding hearing this like the plague.
I was like, oh,
This
what's
is
that
not
over
very
there?
Starfleet.
It's like scanning
Yep.
people. It's like, look at this scanner here. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So.
and this is
It
going to
was-
be a DC 0.
One success.
Right. You notice as you are making this threat, he grips his pouches a little bit tighter. It's like, you see him reach into one of the pouches. He pulls out what resembles a diamond, but green. You know the way a diamond is shaped in that distinctive shape, that sort of pointy triangle, sort of circular type thing. It's like that, but it has a almost electrical green colour to it.
Davin, Tolak, you might want to look at this.
This is
I'll follow.
I'll immediately scan it.
Does it have any resemblance at all to the crystals from last session?
nope.
Okay. Just getting that out the way first.
No, I knew
Nice.
I knew this question would come up, but I'm giving you that for free. It does not look anything like those crystals.
Right.
In fact, Talek, could you
Yeah.
make a science and insight check?
Of course.
DC 1.
Okay, then let's just do this pure. This would be geology?
Oh, definitely.
Well, okay, so I do not have a focus. I do living things.
Ah,
If
Okay.
it's related,
Phrasing.
somehow connected. If it's somehow connected to powering or whatever in the space travel device, I might have a focus for it.
yeah, but no.
Well,
It's like this was to. And he just hands it over and gives it to Tira. There, done with the damn thing.
Where did you find it? Or procured it?
Do we really need to talk about this here? It's a bit embarrassing.
I go with I got to him to a quiet corner.
Okay. So I'm just gonna.
And I
I'm gonna
stole
assume
the
that you
rest of
two
the
are
gems to
sort of like over
collect.
there, like over there on the map. It's like this is the cargo bay, and I assume you two are over there. They're talking to the other passengers. It's like I lost the Dabo game. Okay.
Since when did they give you gems and diamonds in a double game? I thought they play for Platinum.
I didn't get the gem from the Dabo game. And you can see he's getting a bit stressed. Like, oof. I was playing Dabo, and okay, I stole it. Okay. Happy
Go
now?
on.
I stole it.
No. But go on.
I was playing Dabo against a Ferengi. He... Bloody Ferengi. Should have known the table was rigged. He kept... I don't know how he did it. Every time I bet, he would bet higher and he would win. He would bet higher and he would win. He kept winning. He kept getting better than me. So, I followed him.
But I stopped playing.
I followed him. I wanted to know what his secret was. I asked him, how do you keep doing this? And the damn orange freak, he turned around and said, I've got the names for it. And I'm ashamed to say this. I lost my temper and I punched him. Knocked him out. I went through his pockets. I found some latinum in that gem. Look, I've got the latinum here as well. When you hear reaching to one of the other pouches and you hear a little jingle of ting 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 ting.
Do you know what the name of the Ferengi was?
Bok, I think. I was playing him on Ferenginar. God, that's a horrible place. Why I ever went there, I do not know. Made my fur all matty and horrible. And, well, I headed here. Make another security and insight roll, please.
Hey!
Oh, he's lying through his teeth. He is lying through his teeth.
You know, that's a nice story. I like nice stories, but you know what I like more?
What's that?
The truth.
What?
Tell me the truth, please.
The truth is what I just told you. Yes.
No, you didn't.
No, it's not. No. Okay. Yes, I stole the gem. Yes, it was on Ferenginar. But there was nothing to do with that. I stole it from a museum. It looked... I was on a tour. I saw it. I wanted it. I took it. Make another insight roll.
This time I use a point of momentum.
Okay.
Two successes.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
What was the name of the museum?
The Ferengi Museum of Curiosities and Commerce. It cost me almost a whole strip of latinum to get into there. Still, was planning on making that back more with that little gem over there.
So, this is what happens. You will not be now officially under arrest, and as soon as we figure this mess out you gotten us into, you will go to the brig, and you will send back to Frankie Natu to get your punishment there.
You see, he starts to bristle. Third steps forward a little bit, and you start. Still, I knew my luck had to run out at some point. Very well. He puts his hands forward, does the traditional, thing where people put their wrists together and push their hands forwards to say it's a fair cop. Okay, and we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
For a little minute, because I need to go to the toilet.
Right.
So I'm just going to quickly read the chat very quickly. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Kaitan hands wears, yes, this definitely. Yeah, just catching up with what it's saying in. Star Trek Online avatars for yes, okay. Right, as I say, I'm going to turn my headset off so people know who we're talking about garlic bread again, and we'll be back in. I'm going to say a couple of minutes whilst everyone's ready, and continue with part 2 of the third law. Okay, I'm going to put the on the main screen for the moment whilst we wait for everyone else to come back. It's like a little informal chat type thing whilst we're getting ready. Is that working? Yeah, good. That's working.
It's quite some gem. If it's doing what we think it's doing.
It's well, I'm not gonna say it's spoiled anything, but I'll go
please
over.
don't.
I'll go over something after the episode's over. That's exactly also like why I've called it the third law as well, in case you haven't already figured it out. Okay. I'm just going to close that. I've sorted my notes out ready for part 2. That actually went a lot quicker than I thought it was. In terms of time frame, it's like, from my point of view, I thought it was only been about half an hour, but as I looked at the clock, it was like, oh, it's been about an hour. So I'm trying to keep it to 2 hours or so, because I think more than that, and it starts getting to what I have dubbed the critical role problem, where it's a great show, but when it goes over 2.5, 3 hours, it starts getting very difficult to follow it.
Well, you know, I honestly, as much as I do enjoy Critical Role, I honestly think they could cut it down quite a lot if they just abstained from certain behaviours. The main thing that kind of ticks me off is the amount of time they spend haggling over tediously small amounts of money in shops.
I think that's comes from like their previous, because it's the season 1 or campaign 1, I should say, is it started off, was it halfway through their own campaign, because they started doing it in Pathfinder, and back in that you really had to focus a lot on the money wise. But indeed,
I mean, they absolutely don't. They'll spend like 10 minutes arguing down the price of something from 5 silver to 3 silver or something. You know, it's just ridiculous, and it's like 20 minutes every session.
I found out if I split it up into like before their break and after break, it makes it a lot more manageable. Otherwise it became very difficult to try and follow like 3-4 hour sessions in one go. So that's why I'm trying to keep it to about 2, maybe 2.5 hours maximum for this one. Also as well, it's with me, I'll get tired, and I know that because I start waffling. Discover that when I'm streaming, I'll be sitting there and I'll be like repeating myself, or I'll be like, wait, what am I talking about now? And I don't want to be getting to like 11:30 and just be a walking zombie. So okay, so that's it. Everyone back? Everyone ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Again, I will close the chat so it doesn't distract me. Go back onto that, and okay, we're going to skip forward to about an hour or so after Kamala got arrested. All the other passengers have been scanned. Nothing anomalous about them. They've all moved on to Deep Space Nine for medical treatment if needed, or debriefing for the crew, things like that. And Kamala's just basically sitting in your brig.
Right.
Yeah, and
I would like to have that gem in the lab.
Yeah, what did my initial scan of the gem reveal?
Are you going to make another scan now?
Well, I did one initially when he gave it to us with one success, and I can make another one if you like.
I would say yes. Now you've got a proper chance to look at it and see it. And this one's going to be a DC 0.
Alright. This can only go wrong.
while he's doing that, can we say that in the last hour we contacted Ferengina to find out more about the gem?
Yes, you can do that, and that would be. I'm just trying to think what would be an appropriate role for you. Who's making that test? Is it you?
I can, but Devon would be more suited for that. I think it's the more social one.
Oh, the Ferengina. Yeah, I can contact them.
Okay,
although technically it is a security issue.
That's why I'm asking, because it'll determine what rolls you have to make.
But I'm more than happy to do that. I mean, I think both Davrin and Tolek are, when there's no focus involved, completely equal when it comes to insight science. So
Okay, I'm gonna say make a command and reason roll for this one. Again, DC 0.
okie doke.
Okay, and I will make the science check.
Okay, do that one first.
Can I add diplomacy focus to this, please?
Yes, you can.
And I can use the ship systems, right? For this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes on this one.
I mean, I'm doing it at the lab.
Yes,
2 successes for me.
brilliant. The Ferengi you speak to is like, Gem from the museum. You seem to just go up and go, oh, that one, yes. Just some gem with curious subspace properties about it. Nothing fancy in particular.
Curious subspace properties. How would you define these curious subspace properties?
That it has.
Are they just
For a start, I'm not a scientist. I'm a museum curator. What do you expect me to know about it?
well? Was it in any kind of facility that would prevent it disrupting electronics, for example, while it was stored?
It was in a glass case.
Interesting. So you would not expect it to have a catastrophic interaction with computer technology.
As you say that, his eyes open wide. Like, what? It does what now?
I'm not saying it's doing anything, but it is on our ship, and we have had some computer errors. I am trying to determine whether it is connected.
You see the Ferengi sort of look at you with a... No, Starfleet. We've not had any computer errors. It was a museum piece.
Very well, thank you.
Like I said,
Well, we will, as soon as we have dealt with the issue at hand, we will arrange for it to be returned to you.
keep it. Worthless to us. It immediately cuts the communications.
Well, that's interesting. A worthless museum piece.
Well, as you notice, he's actually still on the screen. Why is his communication ended? Oh, you see him like frantically tap. He's like, goodbye. You see him like just like, yeah, like, and then you just hear, never thought we'd get rid of that blasted thing. What do you mean they can still hear up? And then the communication cuts properly.
I'm starting to think we should just space this, guys. All right, okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna confirm that with Tira and tell it and com Tolek as well, and say for any claim it is just has curious subspace properties, but they seemed extremely glad to be rid of it.
Interesting. What did I find out with my 2 successes?
Okay, with the 2 successes, you completely agree. This gem, this diamond, is definitely exhibiting some curious subspace properties that you think you've seen somewhere before.
I can confirm the subspace properties, and I believe that I have encountered them earlier.
Not necessarily encountered, but you've seen them somewhere before. So it's probably like in your. I'm gonna give you this one for free. It will be in something you have read about in the past, but you're not entirely sure where at this precise moment.
I do believe I have read about them at some point. I'm trying to recall at the moment where.
Do you want to try and make a roll to see if you can remember?
Definitely.
Okay. Now this one is going to be another DC roll, but this time so it's going to be science and insight, but it's going to be DC 4.
Ooh. How much momentum do we have at the moment?
6.
Max.
Oh no, 5. Sorry, 5.
I guess I can't really help you when you're recollecting something.
That's not
Oops.
Yeah.
Get out of my head.
Why is that doing that?
Let's spend 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually lost another one because it's a new scene as well. So
Okay.
thank you.
So let's roll.
Alright.
Woo!
Holy shit! Wow. Yeah, you have definitely read about this before.
Call me Percy.
Nice and solid.
It's like you pause for a moment, and your superior Vulcan intellect has the equivalent of a aha moment. You realise you
Yeah.
actually read about something very similar to this in one of Deep Space Nine's old logs. In fact, you've read about 2 things that this could be related to. One is what was affectionately referred to as the gambling device, and the second, rather bizarrely, is a Bajoran orb.
I do recall 2 incidents from the logs of Deep Space Nine, and I relate what I remember.
Sure. Yeah. Basically, as far as you can remember, this does bear an uncanny resemblance to the gambling device. The one that manipulated probability and chance.
Right.
Yet, also resembles a Bajoran orb fragment.
This is rather fascinating.
Yes. Now, you've heard stories of orb fragments before, and how the orbs are very powerful yet unpredictable pieces of, in effect, alien technology that nobody really knows how they work.
I have an idea what we can do.
You know?
Take that thing from our ship and shoot it into the wormhole.
It can be the Dominion's problem.
Yeah,
we may want to relay with the Jordan government. Maybe they can shed some more light on this matter.
Well, this gambling device that you've read about, who were the principal parties in that incident?
I do
They could
believe
shed some light.
there were Ferengi involved.
Yes.
Most likely.
There was a certain Ferengi involved. Yes.
Well, perhaps that certain Ferengi could shed some light on this as well.
Yes, maybe also the command Deep Space Nine might be able to assist in this matter, though we should keep this artifact on board as not to endanger more people.
Okay.
So I think we should inform the captain of this matter.
Yes. Probably about time we got the captain involved.
Yeah.
or anything of a sus.
Yeah. The captain he's in his ready room, and
Yeah, well, I would probably report to the senior science officer to keep
which at the moment
chain
is
of command.
at the moment technically that's you,
Oh, well,
because they weren't expecting this to happen. So it's like you are the acting senior science officer at the moment.
well, then I will report to the captain. I think.
As you walk into his office, he just looks up and just goes,
Captain.
"Yes, Lieutenant. I'm assuming you haven't got any good news for me. What's happening to my ship?" And as he says that, the lights flicker and they stay off a little bit longer this time.
We have found an artifact that was smuggled on board by one of the rescued passengers of the freighter. And I give him my report on where it came from, what it is, where something similar has been counted before.
You see him look and stuff, say, "Okay, mm-hmm. You're gambling, Oh, for the love of...
Yeah.
Goddamn orbs, I swore I'd never get involved with those bloody things. Right. So what's your... And before we can finish that sentence, everybody please make a... this is going to be an interesting one. Command and fitness test.
Are we going to get thrown across the room?
Command
Or
and, fit-
hurl ourselves
command
across
and
the room?
fitness test. DC of 3.
Everyone, a momentum.
Yep.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
this is each of your
Yeah, all right,
each of your
yeah,
roles
I'll
will be separate.
Yes, please.
You're all in separate locations.
Here goes nothing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nice. Oh dear.
Ooh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. The grav plating gives out. All of you and everything that's not buckled down starts floating upwards. Davrin and Tolek,
Yes.
you manage to grab hold of something. Tira, you don't. You are now floating up at the ceiling. And you come crashing back down when 5 seconds later the gravity plating comes back online. You take... That was a critical failure. So, oh dear, that was a critical failure as well. Okay, make... Roll 2 challenge dice for me.
It was difficulty 3, right?
It was.
Then I failed as well, actually.
It says you got 3 successes.
No, that was me.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I've got
Sorry.
2.
I'm looking at the wrong one. I do apologise. In that case, yes, for you as well. Okay. You suffer 2 points of damage.
Okey doke.
That's 2 points stress, right?
Yes. You both suffer 2 points of damage. 2 points of as you come crashing back down to the floor.
How did the captain do in that?
The captain managed to hold onto the desk,
Okay,
and
excellent.
you did as well because you were quite by
Yeah.
his desk. Unfortunately, the people who weren't by a desk or anything they could grab hold of were floating up at the ceiling and came crashing back down 5 seconds later. The captain
Combat.
stands up and is like, "Whatever's wrong with my ship, fix it now."
Combat. Tira to Tolek.
So like here.
You know, space has no movement. We can beam this fucking thing out of here without it floating away.
I'm assuming that that was a Andorian swear.
Well, she has spent time on Earth.
That's very true. Yeah, I would imagine you've picked up a few profanities here and now and then, and you see the captain go, "Lieutenant, I'll ask you to mind your language." But agreed. Beam this bloody
sorry.
thing off my ship now.
Sorry, Captain.
Yes, sir. I will get on that right away. In the hopes that the entropic properties of it will not disrupt the transporter. May I make another suggestion?
Yes.
We could put it in a docking bay and release it to the vacuum and let the escaping air do the work manually instead of with the aid of technology.
I was hoping as if the void itself would just suck it out like a vacuum.
Indeed.
I don't care. I just want the bloody thing off my ship.
Understood. And I will.
It's one roll for him, one roll for everyone else.
I heard that, Lieutenant.
Sorry,
And I will
Captain.
straighten up and start doing exactly that.
Okay. So
One
just double
question,
check.
though.
Are you going to take it? Are you going to beam it off the ship or beam it into?
Yep. Neither. I will carry it into a somewhere where it can be exposed to space, and the suction effect should just shoot it out of the ship.
But
Okay.
should that get it into some kind of movement?
How are you?
I'm
How are you?
pretty
How are you
I'm
moving the
pretty
crystal?
I will carry it.
directly with your own hands?
Well, I would wear gloves.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ship can catch up to me.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tolik, could you please make... There's going to be a lot of dice rolls in this one. A science and... Oops, that's a starship one. A science and... Insight. No, Control. Science and control. And I'm going to let you have your focus on this one as well.
DC?
Oh, and by the way, the DC is 5.
Yeah. But I think we have these nice 3 momentums there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. So, yeah, let's go away.
Okay.
Alright.
Here we go.
Not good. Had to happen sometime.
Okay. As you pick up the crystal, even with your gloves on,
Yeah.
you notice it is, for a brief moment, quite warm and tingly. As if there's a... If you had to describe it, as if there is a very faint electrical current running through it. Indeed. Yes. Eyebrows. Okay.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'll probably not move it by myself.
Okay.
And instead will attempt to beam it. This seems unsafe.
Right. So, I want you to describe to me exactly what you're doing right now.
Okay. As I feel that, I will put it down on the nearest surface as quickly as possible without dropping it outright.
Okay. So you're in your lab, yes?
Hmm?
You're in the lab where it was.
Yeah, I guess it's, and I'll put it back in on the table.
Okay.
The wall.
Now what are you going to do?
I will move to the. Well, there should be people manning the transporter rooms.
Okay. As you go to leave your lab, the door doesn't open.
Okay. I will try my communication.
Okay, make a... This is going to be engineering.
Awesome.
Yes, an engineering and insight.
Right.
DC 1.
Here we go.
Yep.
Hey!
Okay. Door opens.
That's
Just by itself. The door just opens.
Right. I would still press my communications band.
Yes. And who are you communicating with?
Jodek to transporter room 1.
No response.
Jodek to transporter room 2.
No response.
I will make a general call. Jodek to crew. Can anybody hear me?
This is the bridge. What's the problem, Telek?
I cannot establish communications with transporter room 1 or 2.
That's because there's nobody there.
Then I shall take care of it myself. Thank you, Bridget.
Okay.
Right. Well, then I will walk to transporter, the closest transporter room.
Okay. As you approach the turbo lift, I want you to make a engineering and control roll. DC 4.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to spend the 1 momentum?
That's it.
Could we not control the transporters from the bridge? Would that be easier?
I'm not the one who's doing it.
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm saying this to Hanno.
Is that possible? Can you?
Well,
A
can't
site
you
to-
pretty much redirect all of the systems
You
to
can.
the bridge?
A site-to-site transport is harder, though. I will say that for free. It is easier to do it from a transporter room. You can do it from like the bridge or engineering, but it is harder to do so.
But on the
But is
other
it-
hand, it's proving to be very, very difficult to get to the
Yes.
transporter room.
Yes, and when I do notice that, I will call the bridge again.
Okay.
Because, well, go ahead. I have 2 successes, but that's all I could get. So
No.
the lift doesn't come.
No, it comes, but you notice the door only opens halfway.
Select the bridge. Select to bridge.
Yes. What's up?
Could you attempt to beam the artifacts out into space from the bridge? I have difficulties reaching a transport room.
Well, yeah. You still by your lab? Yes. One moment.
I will return there in a moment.
Yeah. If we do it from the lab, that'll probably be easier. It's the sensors in your lab are slightly better. We can probably patch into those.
Alright. And then
Okay.
I'll
Take it back to the room, if your lab, if you would, and give us a moment. We're going to transfer control up to the bridge. Okay. Lights flicker again. This time they stay off for about 20 seconds. Then they flare back on again. Get back to your lab.
Yeah.
Nothing's apart from the light flicker. You then notice the door's closed again. And then it opens. And then it closes. And then it opens. And then it closes again.
I will try to slip through.
The door stops open. Doesn't
Oh.
close.
Okay.
So you go into your lab?
Yeah.
Right. Now before you can say anything, your ship goes to yellow alert. Now it might be your imagination, but you swear you can hear the captain swearing quite profusely even from the bridge. And then the ship goes back to normal. All hands, ignore that yellow alert. Our system's getting glitchy. Tolek, get that bloody thing off my ship.
I'm the captain working on it.
Okay, so what do you do?
Well, I will. Well, after I've returned, I have visual of the crystal, I assume.
Yes?
Right. Select to bridge. Select to bridge.
Hello, this is the gallery.
Never mind.
Gallery, please beam me.
What?
I try again. Select to bridge.
Yes? Did you just get a message from the gallery? You just called us for some strange reason.
Another technical difficulty. The crystal is ready for transport.
Right. Okay. One moment. I'm going to alert Deep Space Nine that things are about to get interesting. Damocles to DS9, and this message comes through to you, Tolek.
Lieutenant Todek here. I think you have reached the wrong recipient.
Apologies. Communication cuts off. There's a pause. Bridge to Tolek. Spoken to Deep Space Nine. They are as ready as they can be. If you want to, well, we leave this in your hands.
Understood.
Let us know when you're ready.
Everything is as prepared as possible, I believe.
Okay. So, what specifically are you doing in your lab right now?
Well, okay, so the transport will happen from the bridge, right?
Correct. They will be in control.
Okay. I will just observe. Do they need my? Well, they know it's there.
Okay. First of all,
Yeah.
because of the nature of the transport, you're trying to beam a small object. So there's
Yes.
going to be a two-part thing. First of all, you're going to have to lock onto the object, and secondly, you're going to have to beam the object.
Question.
Yes.
Would it help matters if I would place my communicator badge on the crystal? Because they are usually more easier to log onto.
If that's something you wish to do, then by all means.
I will try to inform the bridge of my plan and then do it.
Okay. As you do that, is you get here still a cartography.
Never mind. And I'll try again.
Okay. Gallery.
I am sorry for the interruption. I'll try again.
I'm trying to sort that. We heard the message, Tolek. For some reason, we're now getting spliced communications all across the ship.
Interesting. I will place my communicator badge on the crystal to facilitate the log.
Right. So this is going to be, a two-part task. The first part, again, will be assisted by the ship. So whoever's on the bridge or nearby to the bridge is more than welcome to roll the dice for the Damocles. But first of all, we are going to do a... Where's it gone? Reason and security roll, assisted by sensors and security.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much out of this. Have fun.
Okay.
So,
Right.
This is basically to lock on to.
I've got reason 10, security 3.
So whoever wants to do
Yeah.
it is more than welcome to do it.
I
Then the other person can do the ship's roll.
have reason 8 and security 5.
You do it.
Okay, because I rolled so well this session.
Well, I think overall that reason 8, security 5 sounds better.
Does it have anything to do with my focus on security protocols?
This one, I'm going to say yes,
Ah, thank you.
because you're locking onto a foreign object inside the ship.
And what was the difficulty again?
5.
Does anyone have something against spending the momentum?
Absolutely not. No.
Also, as well, remember, you can give me threat as a replacement for momentum.
Yeah, but you already have so much threat.
Yes.
Please get that thing out
I
of my
think-
lab.
I don't know. Do you think there's a what?
Also, remember,
maybe
you can
we
be,
should.
you will be assisted by the ship as well. And this is just to lock onto it. Remember, and then you've got to transport it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got one success for the Damocles. So if you make the roll, it will be +1.
I already made the roll, so I have 3
Oh.
successes and 1 complication.
Okay, you actually just lock onto the transporter badge, not the crystal. And you
To
see
be honest, I'm surprised the badge even works next to the crystal.
you see the badge dissipating a little blue beam of light, and you're
Does
pretty
it
sure
work,
you
Charlie?
don't get a message coming through Deep Space Nine. Here we appear to be now seeing on our scanners a comm badge floating around upper pylon 2. Why?
For the lols, DS9.
Right. I'm not. And they just cut communications.
Let's just. Oh my god, let's just try this again on the crystal, shall we, guys?
Okay. Go on.
Is there any Tolek? Is there? Sorry, if I can even get through to Tolek.
Oh, you get through the Tolek, no problem.
Yeah, you can probably use the internship.
Yeah, Tolek. Is there not? Is there perhaps some kind of casing that we could put the crystal in that would be easier to pick up with the transporter?
Do we have anything like that?
I have a
The
proposition.
containers or something?
I'm just trying to think what would be appropriate. I mean, you'd probably have some kind of I don't know what the proper term of it is, a biological sample container. You know, one of those ones with like the twisty tops type thing.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about as well.
I mean, you don't have many of them. You've probably got about 3 of them in your lab. They're easy enough to replicate if you need to.
And we'd be doing site-to-site transports of those all the time, wouldn't we? So we'd know exactly how to pick up one of them.
I have also
I will say though, even though you would do site-to-site transport of those, a site-to-site transport is harder, no matter what it is. It is always going to be harder from a non-transporter room, just by the very nature of transporter technology. I mean, it can be done relatively easy, but it is harder when you're not doing it from a transporter room.
Also, we know the following things.
Yep.
It's probably some kind of technology fragment from the being that live in the wormhole.
Mm-hmm.
We also know that it has some kind of electrical current now. We also know that the power outages are getting longer. And we also know that if we wanted to get rid of the thing, the systems acted up weirdly who could have assisted to us. Maybe we should just fly into the wormhole, stop there and try to get it then out of the ship. Maybe it just wants to get home.
Right, well, Captain, thoughts?
Sorry, no, I was just making a dice roll, just to decide something. That's actually not a. That's a very good idea. You want to risk moving the ship though?
We could.
I would like to attempt something else first.
What's your idea? Before you can say
Well-
anything, again, the lights flicker, and you feel very, very briefly the gravity plates go out again. But it's only for a fraction of a second. You don't need to make any dice rolls, but it's enough to be noticed. And for those of you who suffer from, I mean, Daphne, you feel your symbiote go a bit wibbly in your pouch. It's like, oh, do not like that.
Well, I have the theory that we could attempt to reduce the possibility of entropy by putting it in a 0 Kelvin environment.
So basically, you want to freeze it.
Yes, I want as much little atomic movement as possible to attempt to reduce its entropic effect.
How long would that take to do?
I have no idea.
I mean,
It'll take
controls
moments. Basically, you'd fill up a container with liquid nitrogen, drop it in there, and then put a lid on.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we just manipulate the environmental controls of the laboratory to
I don't think they go that
breathing.
cold.
Well, Tomek is still in the laboratory, and he is
Yes.
having trouble with the door.
Yes. But maybe I could replicate a container with liquid nitrogen. That would make that possible.
Okay.
If the
yeah,
replicator works.
yeah, I mean, you've got a replicator in the lab. It's pretty much a standard thing for replicating basic equipment. So something, and with your authorization in the lab anyway, it's not, you don't have to get like permission. You just need to go over there and ask it, as you normally would.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
give you
will.
a bunch of flowers.
I will do that before I ask the computer for the replication. I look at the crystal, and because since I am alone, in a rare moment of superstition, I would look at the crystal, raise an eyebrow. Computer, replicate a X by Y container of liquid nitrogen.
Okay. So for you, then that will be a. I'm going to say engineering and computers roll. DC of
Computers?
Yeah.
Where's that?
So I'm not confused.
That's not a thing.
Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong sheet. I'm sorry. Science and
Right?
science and control. Sorry, I was looking at the Starship page. I do apologise.
Okay, I was like, wait, I can't do that.
No. Yeah, so science and control.
Right.
DC, of 1.
You say, well, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Probably no focus unless I can use the technical expertise.
Well, it's operating a replicator, and it's a. Okay, I'm going to say yes for this one.
All right, thank you.
It materialises, no problem,
Okay.
and the lights flicker.
Wow.
The replicator dies. The item you replicated is still there, but the
Yeah.
replicator is just turned off.
Okay. Well, now I will definitely put on very, very insulating gloves.
Okay.
Open the put the container next to the crystal.
Right.
Open it. Getting this nice smoke effect.
Of course. The liquid nitrogen flowing across the desk.
And then I'll try to drop the crystal into it.
Right. This will be. This is going to be science and control. No. Yeah, science and control.
All right.
DC 2, because it's a small hole.
You know what? Take 2 threat, please.
Okay, don't mind if I do.
I am working with a dangerous substance here.
Because I don't really use threat that much, so
Uh,
far. So
right. Does my precise to fault apply here? No, that's a value. Never mind.
No, yeah, that wouldn't count.
Nope. Yeah, no, sorry. I thought that was. Yeah, I'm just trying this like that.
Oh, very nice. Drop it in. It makes a satisfying plip noise into the liquid nitrogen. More of the gas billows out across the desk.
Yeah, I would then seal it as quickly as possible.
It seals up. Not a problem.
And then I will go back to the console and try to hail the bridge.
Bridge.
Select the bridge. Attempt again on the canister.
Okay. So this time, again, same thing, because it's a small object. You're going to have to do an internal sensors roll of reason and security. But
Got this, guys.
this time it's going to be a DC of 2.
I can do that.
And again can be assisted by sensors and security.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. One success.
Sweet.
Assuming you get the other one. Very nice.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes.
I can roll successfully.
So, yeah, Tolek, we have a lock on the container. We're ready to transport.
Go ahead.
Now comes the second part. You now have to actually transport it, because it's a site-to-site transport, and you're not doing it from a transporter room, so it is that little bit more difficult. Control and engineering, assisted by sensors and engineering. Again, DC of 2.
So, what do you have in control and engineering, Delvin?
Right, well, control, I have 9. Engineering, I have 3.
Nice.
I have control 11, engineering 2.
So it's basically the same.
Yeah, roughly the same.
Well, basically, whoever's doing the beaming, the other person does the ship assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do it again. I'll do
I
the
should
ships
beam
again.
on my technical console? Okay, yeah.
But you're also logged on, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're locked on, so you don't have to. That's why it's DC 2 rather
Yeah.
than a DC 3. Normally, if it was in a transporter room, it'd be a DC of 1.
You can do it!
So, sorry, it was sensors and engineering.
Sensors and engineering, yes.
Or the Damocles, okay.
Yep. So you need to get at least one success. And you do. It disappears in the blue haze of light. As it does, there's a very brief pause when it almost doesn't seem to take. The lights across the entire ship flicker. And then will come back to life, and you notice the transporter has done its job. And you now have, in the buffer, the container. Now obviously you can't keep it in the transporter buffer forever, so what are you going to do with it?
Put it out as far near the wormhole, I guess. Right?
Can we beam it this far?
Not to the wormhole, no.
Well,
You have
as
to,
near as we can, away from DS9, because I just thought about this just now. If it is just this crystal that's caused all of this, it was also causing problems on DS9. So either there is a second thing, or it has a pretty substantial range.
Then we beam it as far as we can with our beamer, with our transporter, but I think our sensors are pretty good, so that we can still science the thing.
I'll say you don't have the range. Transporters aren't that good, despite what
Well, how can we hold it in the buffer long enough to fly further out?
Oh yeah.
Well, let's do that then.
You can hold it. I mean, you can easily make it to the wormhole before the transporter buffer
That sounds good.
burns out. That's not a problem. The engineer's not going to be happy, and you can hear you have like actually get a message up from main engineering going, yeah, whatever it is you're doing with the transporters, hurry up. They're making some odd signals.
Okay. Then I'll recommend to the captain that we fly at all possible speed towards the wormhole.
Ensign, you heard the man. Get us to the wormhole. Now, you get to the wormhole, not a problem. In fact, the ship is actually moving pretty smoothly. There's nothing going wrong. There's no light flickers. There's no transporter communications. And that file that you said disappeared earlier has now reappeared. Right in front of the ensign's face, as he was just doing it, just suddenly reappears back on his screen, making him jump.
Cholek will make his way to the bridge.
Okay.
I'm gonna head over to that ensign's terminal, and before he manages to swipe that window away, I'm gonna have a look at the file.
All right. I'll remember what I said. Now. But basically, yeah, it confirms what Tolek said earlier, that this crystal is what they believe to be a orb fragment.
Okay.
From what is believed to be the orb of chance.
Okay, so maybe I report this back then. Captain, this is a fragment from the Orb of Chance according to the file. Perhaps rather than return it to the wormhole, we should leave it for the Bajoran authorities to collect.
One moment. Engineering, how long can you keep that thing in the buffer? Let me get the gruff reply back. You probably got about another 20 minutes, sir, before the coils burn out. And after that, it's going to be unpleasant. The captain retires to his ready room. 5 minutes go past. Another 5 minutes. Comes back out. They want nothing to do with it.
Did they have a recommendation?
I believe, and I'm going to have to translate what the FedEx said. Send it back to where it bloody well came from.
All right.
Which I will admit, I am choosing to translate what he said. I believe he went a bit pale and said something about par wraiths and questioning the Prophet's existence and something like that. He was quite shook up and said that since they had that incident with the orb fragment before, they now have a standing policy to send them back into the wormhole to the Prophets. If it's a full orb, they keep them, but if it's a fragment, they're too unstable. And then he said something which I'm pretty sure would get me banned if I said it by Starfleet. It was very rude, actually. So, who am I to insult our Bajoran friends? Beam that thing back to the Celestial Temple. So, Damocles slowly approaches the wormhole. It opens up. You can see pretty much down the wormhole's throat. What are you doing?
Well, I guess we're beaming it back to the Celestial Temple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now this is pushing the range of the transporters. We'll say it's doable, but it's the equivalent of, in terms of distance, of beaming to the other side of a planet.
I mean, if it's easier, we can fly in, make a full stop, and beam it inside the wormhole out.
You can do that if you want to.
I could also take advantage of my joined talent to get a focus, if we want to.
Go on then. If you want to, you're more than welcome.
Well, I mean, I don't want
wanna
to make up a previous life just for the hell of it. So if we don't need to, I'd probably rather
It's
not.
entirely
but
up to you. It's entirely up
if
to
we
you.
feel like we need that focus, is all I'm saying.
Considering you have no momentum,
Yeah. All right.
and you're pushing the time limit to how long, you know. The,
Okay, fine. In that case, in a previous life,
Just 'cause I want to see you do this.
Mizar Jean.
Okay. Can you write
Was
this down
a
as well, please?
Yes, I'm writing it down. Mizar Jean was transporter chief,
Okay.
and he had a few tricks up his sleeve when it came to, transporting things at great distance or transporting things in motion, etc., etc. So, focus in transporting.
I'm going to allow that one because that's brilliant. That's exactly what I wanted someone to do.
Okay.
So this is going to be a DC of 2.
Right. Okay. So,
But
do we
because
want to
it's
give them more
backed-
threat guys as well?
No, because it's already in the transporter. All you're doing is basically you're beaming it again. So you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about locking onto it or anything like that. You just literally have to do a control and engineering with sensors and engineering roll as an assist with your focus.
Okay. Control and
Sensor
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
engineering.
Oh dear.
Bad Damocles! Bad Damocles!
Okay.
I can't see the chat right now, but I already don't want to click submit.
Do it. You feel a slight rock from the ship as you hear from the engineering go, Captain, our transporter coils have just exploded. We have no transporter room 2 now. It's on fire. But I do have some good news. Whatever it was in there is now gone. Along with most of the room.
You've got to break a few eggs to make an omelette, Captain.
And when I say most of the room's gone, Captain, I mean that literally. The room has gone. There's nothing in there. It's as if the whole room beamed itself out. On the view screen, you see floating in the distance what remains of Transporter Room 2. Slowly
Quick,
drifting
beam it back.
into the wormhole, which then closes.
Do you know what? They'll probably appreciate the gift in the Celestial Temple, Captain.
The sacrifices will
Yeah.
be never forgotten.
There's a brief pause. The wormhole opens again, and tumbling back out is what remains of Transporter Room 2.
I guess they didn't appreciate the gift in the Celestial Temple, Captain.
We don't know.
I'll try and transport it back.
With,
Of
you
frog
have
sacrifices.
you have the engineer on the go. With what? We have no transporters now.
We have
Oh,
one.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously not now. Later.
Do we have a functioning tractor beam?
Oh yeah, you have tractor beam. Tractor beam's
Oh,
fine.
that's even better. Let's use the tractor beam.
You just
That's-
have no
makes a lot more
transporters now.
sense.
Let's not.
The entire transport grid's just short-circuited.
Let's not leave any detritus floating out in space.
Yeah, you get a message from Deep Space Nine going, Damocles? Is that what we think it is? Coming out of the Celestial Temple? Damocles?
Affirmative. It is.
Well, our systems have returned to normal.
Excellent.
We're not getting any fluctuations or anything. Hell, the turbo lifts are working again. And as it says that, you notice, Tulek, your door on your lab.
Oh, I was on the bridge.
Oh yeah, oh sorry, my
if
apologies.
possible.
Okay. Yeah. There's no fluctuations. Everything is going perfectly smooth.
We're experiencing the same effect. It seems that the shard was responsible for the disruptions. We will collect the remains of our transport room and return back to DS9 for some repairs.
Yeah, we'll have an engineering team on standby.
Thank you.
And that's where we're going to end the episode. Wow.
Please describe.
Adding to our reputation of getting things done in really, really stupid ways.
Please
Yep.
describe
It
the
worked.
fate of
Now,
Captain
I think
Burr.
someone in chat has figured out why I've called this the third law. Let's see if you
Yes.
guys have figured it out.
Somebody's a bit of a smarty pants.
Yeah.
I want to see if any of you have figured out why I called this episode the third law.
Wait.
Yes, indeed. Rip Transporter Room 2. Never forget.
Which one was the?
Yes, you can Google it if you want.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
just have to make sure.
I genuinely don't. I mean, the only third law I know is third
Oh,
law of dynamics, but I don't know
wonderful.
how
That's-
it's connected.
Yes, perfect. The entropy of a perfect crystal of any pure substance approaches zero as the temperature approaches absolute zero.
And
Oh.
there's a second reason I picked it.
So you were smart to be trying to freeze it then.
Yeah, but I didn't.
I was
check.
actually very surprised.
Yeah.
I did not catch the thermodynamics thing until now.
No,
So
that was one of
just
the reasons I picked
completely out
it.
of the blue. That's crazy.
And the third law of robotics is
Yeah.
not pliable here.
Yeah,
No, it's
that's
not,
what I
it's
thought.
not to do with the
initially.
third law of robotics. It is the third law of physics,
Oh,
or the Newtonian third law.
I'll have to look that up.
I may have paraphrased it a little bit. It might not be exactly as it is on the thing, but when I explain it, you'll understand it.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Also
There you
reaction.
go. For every
Yeah.
action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Basically, you may not have noticed it, but every time something good happened, something bad happened as well.
Mhm.
So yes, you managed to
Nice.
transport the thing off the ship, but he's destroyed your
Oh,
transporter.
good. Then it's not my fault.
No, it'd be no matter what solution you picked, it would have worked, but something bad would have happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you'd
Yeah.
have volunteered to go in the shuttle would fail life support or something like that. As you decided to beam it, and you got a critical failure, I was originally just going to destroy the pad, but I thought no. That's pretty much what I was saving the threat for. Was I forgot to remove free threat for this. It was basically, the transporter room, the whole room got beamed out.
But at least Devra and Tira are working on their reputations.
Oh yeah, you guys have definitely got one hell of a reputation now for things going
I'm
interesting.
so glad that Jonek was somewhere else.
You can pretty much.
I'm just saying, we live in a culture where we can materialize new transporter room equipment out of thin air. I'm not that bothered, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
It's,
I mean, don't tell that to engineering.
No, I won't.
no,
I
no,
won't.
the engineer is he's not happy with you right now. It's congratulations, you have taken the transporter room of one of the most advanced starships in the Federation and sent it into the Bajoran wormhole. Granted,
And they didn't even
prophets-
like it.
the prophets returned said transporter room after they
Yeah.
took back the crystal,
They're lovely people, the prophets.
but
Yeah.
it was more a case of, yeah, we don't want this, have it back.
Yeah, and we pick it up, so don't litter.
That is basically the equivalent of us throwing litter over the fence into their garden and then just throwing it back, right?
Yeah, that's basically, it was like,
We're lucky they didn't call the intergalactic police.
if
Yes.
if you'd have gone into the wormhole, things would have been a lot more interesting.
And question for Hannah.
Yeah.
If we would have left the transporter room floating in space, would have Tolek looked sadly into the camera and spilled one tear?
Probably. Yeah. Or the
So it's gonna be-
Vulcan equivalent of that.
More of a loss of the plasma running through the... Yeah, so you say, very lucky it didn't explode and provide more energy for the crystal. It was starting to take in energy from the ship.
Right, yeah.
That
Yeah.
tingle you felt, that was it basically gathering energy. And yeah, I was actually very surprised. I say you picked up on the freezing of it.
I was just thinking entropy
In fact,
reduces
for that,
at- yeah.
I am going to give Hanno a... What do you call it? I'm going to make sure I get the right term, because that was actually quite ingenious. Where's it gone?
Well, there's a reason you are our main science guy.
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna say, I'm
sci-
glad
you
one of
scienced
our
the shit
science
out of
officers
that.
actually has a brain. 'Cause, I sure
I'm
don't.
going to make sure I get the right terminology for it. So a milestone. I'm giving you
right.
a spotlight milestone.
Okay.
Well done, Hanno.
Thank
Because
you.
that was that.
Help yourself.
I was honestly not expecting anybody to pick up on that. So basically, what a spotlight milestone is, it says it's given when a single main character is particularly prominent during an adventure, or the GM may award one every 2 to 3 missions. And this is our 3rd mission, and I've not awarded any yet, but that I think was particularly worthy of it, because
Thank
that by freezing it, you lowered the DC of pretty much all the tests after that by 2, sorry, because you pretty much stopped it from doing its thing.
right.
If you hadn't have done that, all tests after that would have been 2 to DC roll. So yeah, that was well deserved, that spotlight milestone.
Thank you.
Yep. Also, oh no, I'm not gonna worry about that this mission. That's because I'm still not too sure about the reputation stuff on that one. But as a ship, yeah, your reputation is slowly starting to spread throughout the Federation as things seem to happen on board. Now, for such a small crew, everyone's glad you're near the wormhole, so they can shove you back into the Gamma Quadrant.
You know what? I'm quite happy to go back into the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah.
Seems interesting over there.
Yeah, it's going to be okay. Before I forget as well, the next episode is going to be one that was written. I think I mentioned it to you guys, but it's going to be one that was written for me by RPG Crunch. They did one in return for a little bit of a plug as a freebie, so I was like, okay, I will give them a promotion. And I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but I will give you the episode name, and you might be able to figure out. Make sure I get it right. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Fragrance.
Fragrance.
Yep, that's all. Because obviously, you're watching the episodes. You'll see like in the that TV guide or whatever what the next episode is going to be called, and it's just going to be called Fragrance. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it.
Fascinating.
Yes. Highbrow.
Jem'Hadar first for men.
Because they're worth it. New Ketracel rights from the Gamma Quadrant. And then after that,
Well, I look forward to this scent-based adventure.
Yes.
it's good. I read through it and it's interesting. It's quite a good one actually. It's no, it's not that. Or is it? Now somebody's asking about in chat, is it so and so, so and so?
Yeah.
It
Stop
might be
trying to
based on
spoil
that.
it for us.
No. It's more because now you're gonna have a plot line in. I'm gonna say, oh, this next episode will be like blah 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 blah. But I'm not gonna say it's gonna be involved with fragrance. That's all you know.
Yeah.
That is all I'm saying.
That's pretty intriguing as a concept.
Yes.
It is. So we'll.
It might be the name of a ship called the fragrance. No, it's not that. No, I'm not that. I'm not that stupid. No,
I already
it's
have 7
so
ideas
this,
from.
what I'm also going to try and do
Okay.
as well is I'm going to try and get the These Are the Voyages book from Modiphius, because I've been looking as like a preview, and a lot of people have said the adventures in that are actually pretty good. Episodes, like some of them have been done by people who did episodes of, or at least the what's the word, the oversight from some of the people who did some of the official episodes. So
Right,
they've given,
that's
so they've
pretty
looked at them and given them the nod and gone, yeah, that's kind of like how I would have done it, and that sort of thing. So these are almost the nearest you're going to get to new episodes set in the different time frame. So I'll be scattering those every now and then until I've used them up.
Right.
So basically, once that book turns up, then I'll be using that for a little bit. Plus a couple of things from the Living campaign as well. But it's going to be so the first season is going to be pretty much to begin with a, should we say, episode of the week type season, where it's like to establish the universe, get everyone used to things, myself mainly, and then I will be starting on your character episodes, where I'm going to do at least one episode per season where it'll be focused on each of the characters.
Nice.
So I mean, obviously the other people will be around as well, but like one will be based focused on Davrid, one will be focused on Tulek, one will be focused on Tira. Excuse me, sorry, I'm starting to waffle a little bit now. Right, okay. Let's see if anything else happened. Just gonna quickly check, see what this is. Just in case anything did come through and I missed it. Oh, we've had a couple of we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 follows today. Brilliant. Very nice. That's how many should that push me up to? I think I'm going to be getting close to.
You're approaching 50, aren't you?
45, yeah. I'm trying to get up to what's it, 50 followers and an average of 3 viewers per stream, because that will get me to affiliate. And then
right.
so as long as if I can get that, that'll be fantastic. If not, then well, it just means I can do things now, like have subs and emotes in chat, like my own personal emotes and that kind of thing. So
Right.
Okay, so it's a quality of life thing as much as
it's just it also means I can do other bits and pieces as well, because it means I'm not just like a flash in the pan streamer, and it means they will I think the VODs will last longer on Twitch, plus there will be other bits and pieces along the lines. It's basically a way of saying, you brought people in, you're getting people to watch Twitch, so thank you. So
Right. Well,
okay.
we'll keep breaking Starfleet equipment for you. So
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep screwing up in entertaining ways indefinitely, really.
Yeah.
And a second, I'm just going to have to make a roll on something. No, it's to do with the where's my dice gone? Oh, there it is. To see how long Transporter 2 is out of action. 17 days.
It's fine.
So for the next 17 days, there's no Transport Room 2.
What
Then
could
we
go
have-
wrong?
Then we
No, you've still
have
got Transport
a
Room
trolley
1.
for 7.
True.
You've still got Transport Room 1, but Transport Room 2, and the system is going to be, well, you're very, very lucky that the Damocles is a very modular ship. But still, bloody hell. You've not only blown up the Kobayashi Maru, which was genius, by the way, but you also, it's
I should point out that I had nothing to do with that.
no, it's more as the crew, I would say. The crew of the Damocles has gone, right, so you've not only blown up the Kobayashi Maru in a test, you've lost one of your transporter rooms.
Yeah, Solid may not have had anything to do with that, but that just means he's less of a celebrity. So
He's fine with that.
And I mean, even Devrin can talk his way out of this because both the times a San Andorian was standing on the technical console and were using them.
Right. Okay, I'm going to end the stream now, and
Right.
I'd like to
Thank you very much.
nice running as always.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I would also like to thank everybody who turned up today. I don't know exactly, obviously, when we'll have the next stream, but I am hoping it will be in 2 weeks' time. Is that okay with you people?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
I'm already looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
I will say,
Yeah.
okay, I'll say provisionally, in case obviously anything happens, like we almost lost Andreas today because he had the Cardassian flu. So as long as there's no fudge ups, there's something else there, then it should be in 2 weeks, which is the 3rd of March. And tomorrow I personally will be streaming some more Lord of the Rings online if you want to join me for that. If you don't, that's all cool. In the meantime, have a good night and live long and prosper.
Good night, guys.
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
I'm now going to run the credits. I've got credits for this.
Yeah, but this was a genius thing of you to do with freezing.
I somehow I didn't at all consider the third law of thermodynamics, but it was like, wait, entropy decreases at absolute zero. It might as well give it a shot. If only my old physics teacher could have seen that. Might actually have been proud for